reading you this paper here. The story shows, so I have a story that shows that prayer works and God listens when you pray. I also learned to never doubt God. I have a story that showed me that God listened to my prayer. The story is about the time I was in an airplane. As soon as we were about to take off, it started storming like I've never seen it before. The wind was crazy. It started pouring rain. There was lightning that almost struck the plane. And so when that happened, I was afraid. I was scared. I was afraid because we were flying alone and, and I hated storms. Then I realized something. I realized that, I realized I should pray. I realized I should try to pray and see if God would listen to my prayer. So that is exactly what I did. I prayed for the storm to clear and that we could leave safely. But deep down, I had this feeling. But deep down, I had these feelings both before I got on the plane and after I prayed. The feeling before I got on the plane was something bad, something bad was going to happen and delay the flight. But I would be safe in the end. I ignored the part where I would be safe in the end. The feeling I got seconds after I prayed was that this prayer wasn't going to work, and it was silly and not really something I should have done. I also felt like we were never going to leave, and we'd be stuck in the plane. We'd be stuck in the plane, we wouldn't be able to leave, and I started freaking out, and I had a small panic attack. I had a moment of disbelief and doubt that God didn't hear my prayer and stuff, and it was not good. But no longer than a few minutes later, the storm cleared and the sun came out and we took off safely. So that was pretty cool, and I was surprised and shocked when that happened. That was the point when I realized that my prayer worked. I was in shock when it happened because it was storming and stuff, and I was like, oh no, we're never going to leave, and I had a panic attack. And then I prayed, and I doubted that God would hear my prayer, and the storms cleared, and we were able to leave. You know what I mean? And the Bible verse 1 John 14-15 states that this is the confidence we have in approaching God, that if we ask anything according to his will, he hears us, and if we know that he hears us whatever we ask, we know that we have what we asked of him. After the storm cleared, I felt way better. I had a feeling of relief. I was happy that God heard my prayer, and it was according to his will to keep me safe. I learned to never doubt God. So, after that happened, I was happy, and I felt like I had a connection with him, and I don't know, it was a very powerful moment for me. And I have another Bible verse, Mark 9:21-24 says that Jesus asked the boy's father, how long has he been like this? From childhood, he answered. It has often thrown him into fire or into water to kill him. But if you can do anything, take pity on us and help us. If you can, said Jesus, everything is possible for one who believes. Immediately the boy's father exclaimed, I do believe. Help me overcome my unbelief. So the reason why that Bible verse speaks to me is it states everything is possible for one who believes, and I do believe. And I do believe. Help me overcome my unbelief. At first, I was in disbelief that my prayer would work. At first, I was in disbelief that God would listen to my prayer and keep me safe. It wasn't until the storms cleared out and we were able to leave that I realized that I feel like my prayer did something, and I feel like my prayer did something, God listened. I also felt like if I pray more, I can strengthen my relationship with God. And at that moment, I knew if I didn't pray, it would have lasted longer, and the storm would have kept going, and we would have left. We wouldn't be able to leave until like later, and I would have had a panic attack, like a really bad one. I feel like if I kept believing the feeling after I prayed, that praying was silly and it wouldn't work, I would have ignored God's message to me. I felt like He sent a message to me to pray over our safety so that we could get to our destination. And before I got on the flight, I knew something was up, but I kind of ignored it. And it just really, like, I don't know. It speaks to me because it was a time where He sent me a message to pray, and I prayed, and I followed His message, and He kept me safe. That's it.